You spoke about four-wheel drift being showing some kind of connection with the participants and with the audience. And I'd like to use that to transition to your next piece of work, Animal Lover, which is about a very special kind of connection, I think, between pet owners and their pets. And I believe this one was inspired by your particular relationship with your two dogs, Tom and Sugi. And I'd like to talk a bit more about that. How did this relationship inspire Animal Lover?
Yeah, Animal Lover is really a body of work that uses media such as video and some interactive technologies, video and sound. Um, I'm really concentrating on experiential methods and also collaborative techniques or participatory techniques that involve the companion species. In this case, it's my two dogs, Tom and Sugi, as you mentioned. So in the body of work Animal Lover, I'm proposing a sort of collaborative method, interspecies collaboration that offers new ways of looking at the creative process. So ultimately, this collaborative process and the representations that grow out of them are intended to portray the animal as having different but not inferior complex states of being to the human being. So for instance, in the production process, Tom and Sugi are asked to perform certain tasks in front of the camera or microphone, and what they finally do contributes to the final form of the piece. In other words, I don't have a worked out idea of the final product. I have a sort of a loose idea, but the narrative of the final video, a loose narrative, is determined by the content of the footage and sound that are contributed by the dogs. So, for instance, in the work that's being shown in Passages includes two videos called screen tests that are two high-definition slow-motion video works, one of Tom and one of Sugi. And the title quotes the series of works by Andy Warhol that he produced during a 10-year period from 1963 that depicted close-up living portraits of his friends and acquaintances. And as in Warhol's work, these portraits of mine are shown as slow motion studies that detail the minute changes of expression and the subjects, in this case the dog's self-consciousness in front of the camera. So screen tests really provides a view of interspecies intimacy through the gaze of the animal looking back at the human. And the viewer has the opportunity to witness the subtleties of the dog's highly developed perceptual sense that is really normally below our threshold of perception. In the project Bike Ride, that's also shown in Passages, the process of making the video involved using a small HD camera. It was mounted at dog height on my bike, and we recorded these bike rides in various locations of Vancouver and captured the physical movement of the dog in the geography and recorded the background of Vancouver, as well as some of the sounds that were going on, including the dogs running beside the bike. So Bike Ride really emphasized the dog as an urban animal and really expertly adaptive to the human environment. The last work that's being shown in Passages from the Animal Lover body of work is Rockstar. And here I was interested in the intensely acute sense of smell that canines have. And it's been said that the canine sense of smell is hundreds of times more sensitive to that of human beings. So in a way, it can be argued that this uniquely detailed perceptual sense points to a kind of empirical intelligence that we as humans don't have and that the canines do. And some experts speculate that the pleasure the dog experiences from traveling in a car with his head out the window is like a kind of a psychedelic experience, a sort of fantastic rush of the senses. So in Rockstar, Tom is portrayed in close-up with his head centered in the frame as he travels in this way. The soundtrack is constructed from studio recordings of Tom's voice and uses rhythms and harmonic modes associated with rock music and car travel. And the whole soundtrack is composed from these vocal recordings of Tom that produce a sort of melodic component. And then the sound of the car engine was also recorded and used to produce some of the tonal or rhythmic aspects. So here, again, in terms of collaborative techniques, the soundtrack was not preconceived, but relied on the material that Tom provided in the recording sessions to be used to build the final result.
Cool. Well, as we can see from both works, you get artistic inspiration from all sorts of places. The Situationist, your dog, and I know you're also a teacher at Emily Carr. And I was wondering if your teaching experiences affected your art production in any way, and if so, how?
Yeah, the teaching is an interesting experience because on the one hand, it can be seen as a sort of a distraction from practice, but on the other hand, it is a incredibly rich way to learn. And from my point of view, teaching is actually one of the best ways of learning. So this is how I'm kind of able to enter into my role as a teacher. My area of curriculum, which is the digital and interactive arts area, I'm able to research and talk about and experiment with new modes of creativity and interactivity. And one of the things that I'm also by passing on ideas of theory and also ethics in a sense, I'm hoping that the new generation of artists that comes out of Emily Carr and that maybe I'll participate in their growth will become the new social conscience of the culture.
Cool. Well, that's about all I have for passages at the moment. Are you working on anything else now?
One project that I just finished is a project that looks at social media as a way to examine collective thought, and in particular, I was looking at how social networks such as Twitter offer representations of, in this case, what I'm interested in is human empathy, reflecting on the subjective experience of animals. So you had asked me about owners and their pets. This is one of the projects that I sort of developed to look at communities of people who are involved with animals and to see what their relationships are and how they articulate those relationships. So a project called Glisten Hive I participated in during Code Live, which was an exhibition during the 2010 Vancouver Cultural Olympiad. And this project mapped real-time online conversations about animal consciousness into an audio-video installation using computer algorithms that mimicked social insect swarming patterns. So live Twitter contributions were coded and projected onto moving text patterns reminiscent of swarming insects, visualizing a kind of shared experience and group intelligence. And these Twitter contributions were specifically from followers and from people I was following who were considering the animals that they were living with and their empathy towards those animals. Often the contributions were from the first person, as though the human being was putting themselves in the situation of the animal and speaking from their point of view. So the project was really intended to raise awareness about animals' complex states of being, which is so often distanced by a culture which thinks of animals primarily in terms of consumption.
All right, wonderful. And just to use it as a as a transition to a shameless plug, AGM also has a Twitter account. It's available at twitter.com/artgallerymiss, just for you 905 art chatters. So thank you very much for your time, Julie.
Thanks, Jacqueline.
And I'd like to invite all of you again to the opening of Julie's exhibit at the AGM. It'll be September 16th. That's a Thursday. It'll be at 6 p.m. And I believe you and Simon will be doing a live performance, four-wheel dress, right?
That's right, yeah.
Wonderful. So, again, Julie Andreyev, Passages at the AGM from September 16th to October 31. And thank you again very much, Julie, for your time.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.